Randy, is this inspiring you? Seeing these birds of prey?
There's Randy down there.
Today we're going to talk about the Ocean Course at Kiawah Island. Of course, we were lucky enough to play during Tourist Sauce Season 5. Very difficult course for normal people to play.
I just reached my limit of lost balls.
But I get the sense it's not going to be nearly as difficult for the pros. For some reason I can't quite nail down, but the things that make it really hard for amateurs just aren't that big of a deal for pros. There's going to be some challenges, but it's not something that I'm expecting them to get beat up on. It's not an easy place to get to. It's not easy for fans to view there, yet it's hosting a major championship. Golf course was built very shortly in advance of the 1991 Ryder Cup. It was built by Pete Dye. Hurricane Hugo came through as they had already begun construction on it and kind of laid waste to all the work that they'd already done for it. It was a complete mess trying to get equipment onto the island when, you know, the whole area was just ravaged by this hurricane. But it got done in time, just barely. The teams were in trailers for the 91 Ryder Cup. It was a shit show, for lack of a better word. I mean, it was very, very difficult golf course, and it was something that, you know, the golf world hadn't really seen. Can't imagine a course like this getting built in today's day and age with all the environmental concerns and all the things Pete Dye had to do. You know, breaking down logging dams, all this water retention stuff, creating marshland to create this golf course. I would venture to say it's not the greatest championship golf course out there. At the same time, I find it to be a refreshing change of pace from what we've seen in recent PGA Championships. Long, narrow golf courses with thick rough, I don't think makes for great, entertaining golf on TV, whereas Kiawah, wider fairways, kind of bridging into sandy native areas with interesting green contours, I think that makes for a lot more interesting television viewings. It's a hybrid of bringing championship golf here in an effort to bring people to Kiawah to play the golf courses. It's kind of a model for the pros play here and you can play here too for a pretty steep price.
Why is it called the Rory Tree?
Flew a 3-wood into it back in 2012. It got stuck. He dropped it back about 70 yards out, knocked it to 3 feet and made the putt for par. Went on to win by 8.
So when we played Kiawah, it was in November, kind of the winter wind, which comes more out of the north. This time of year at Kiawah Island, the prevailing wind typically comes out of the south, which is going to be quite the opposite of what we experienced. So the first 4 holes at Kiawah go head north, so those will be kind of playing downwind.
Comfy for Uncle Tron.
Kind of come inland backwards and then go back even a little further past the clubhouse for the next, 10-ish holes, something like that. If we get the prevailing wind, those are all going to play dead into it and then kind of see another downwind coming for the finish. Which is kind of the opposite I think we'd like to see it play. I think you'd like to see kind of the challenge coming in on those final few holes. But what's interesting about Kiawah, I think from the tip it plays 8,300 yards.
So,
hardest hole on the PGA, stroke average close to bogey, a lot of balls in there. They played it 500 yards into the wind.
Uh-oh.
Stay up.
That all day, man.
It has not and will never be set up at that length. Those tees are all there to flex for these different wind conditions. The downwind holes do not play that difficult, but man, when you get going into the wind and get it going offline out there, you can just be out there forever.
ooh,
You see it?
no, just careful for snakes.
You know, Kiawah is more about the sum of its parts than it is, standout signature golf holes. The whole terrain is so very flat that it, nothing really stands out. But the one I think of is the 17th hole.
I'm just gonna hit the smoothest 3-iron I can think of.
Nope, nope, nope,
Doesn't like it?
no.
But when the wind's coming in, you can't really commit to a fade.
I don't have any
seems like
shot.
the shot that should go in there, but
You don't want to be in those bunkers either. Like, that's not
and I just
fun.
don't think a ball's gonna draw back over the water. Like, how you tell me to trust that?
No.
No.
might be just short of it.
They played so difficult in the 91 Ryder Cup, but that wind was coming in off the left with a lot different technology. In today's day and age, I don't think that these shots are nearly as difficult for these guys, especially if they have a helping wind. I think I shot 82, which was not good enough to beat Neil with strokes on that day.
I did not want to think about that one. I just beat him one up.
Oh! Whipped it all the way back.
Whipped it all the way back from 3 down. It was a tale of 2 nines.
Hadn't really thought about it for a while. It's bringing a lot of PTSD back, I think. What I remember about that day was just the stress. Like, it was just a constant stress. Neil and I decided to tip it out, play it all the way back.
Back tees, Kiawah.
About all I can handle. Actually, a lot more than I can handle, clearly.
If I may say so, we played it further back than they were even going to play it from this PGA Championship.
We're at 330, they're 530. It's a tough scene.
Tough scene. Typically it plays into the wind.
The point was to get punched in the face, and we got punched in the face. Wildlife, it's hot, like the sand gets in around your ankles, and it's just it's a grueling walk. And in the heat of May, you know, on Kiawah Island under major championship stress, it's gonna be a lot to deal with, I think. The wind blows out there and it hits you and just kind of drains you a bit. So I remember being very fatigued at the end of that day.